This cannot be ignored, as with the New York Knicks' path to the NBA Finals effectively being set, there is a lot of chippiness and a budding rivalry along the way that multiple different New York Knicks have spoken out on, revealing how they feel about this, while also a ton of external factors are still at play and could very quickly change everything about this NBA playoffs in regards to the New York Knicks, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And if you guys are part of that 63% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Knicks content, so make sure to subscribe. We're making videos every single day. You guys do not want to miss out, but let's jump into this video here because we have a lot to discuss. The New York Knicks, they very likely have found who they're going to be playing in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Now, nothing is set in stone yet. With 2 games left to go for most NBA teams, a lot could still be shaken up, especially in the Western Conference, but as well in the East. The top 2 seeds are set in the Eastern Conference in the Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics, but outside of that, really anything can happen with all of the play-in teams and with every other seed around that. The Knicks, though they're widely expected to get that 3rd seed, could still be overtaken by the Indiana Pacers, and on top of that, a bit farther down, there could be some more shuffling as well. But where things stand right now, it is very likely that we see what happened last night with the Knicks, which is the Knicks playing the Detroit Pistons. Now, obviously at full strength, not missing Josh Hart and OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, but nonetheless, they would be playing the Detroit Pistons, who they lost to last night. That's not really what this video is about at all, but there is a budding rivalry happening there that we will talk about. But just going over where the Knicks are at right now, the Bucks, they beat Detroit. If they beat Detroit once and the Knicks win 1 game or Indiana loses a game, the Knicks will face the Detroit Pistons. That's the most likely scenario. However, if Detroit beats the Bucks twice and the Knicks win one of their final 2 games, or the Pacers lose a single game, the Knicks will play the Bucks. If the Knicks lose the final 2 and the Pacers win the final 2, the Pacers will jump over the Knicks for that 3rd seed. The Knicks will fall down to 4th and then face Detroit or Milwaukee, likely still the Milwaukee Bucks in that case. So there's 3 scenarios right here, and 2 of them really. The most likely situation here is the Knicks face the Detroit Pistons. It's very hard to imagine that the Knicks won't. They have 2 games left against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Cavs, they are going at full strength against the New York Knicks. They rested all their guys, all their starters, but Jarrett Allen last night, who played limited minutes. They are going to play all their guys in the Garden. The Knicks are going to play most of their guys. It sounds like Jalen Brunson is a question mark right now. Same with Karl-Anthony Towns, but OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, along with Mitchell Robinson, will all be on the floor against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that is going to have an impact on things, because if the Knicks end up losing that game, especially if Brunson and Towns aren't there and the Cavs play their whole team, the Knicks will not be the favorites to win that game. So if they lose that game, they're still close to that 4th seed, which, for better or worse, could have a huge impact on their playoffs. I mean, they would get to avoid the Celtics for longer, but they have to play the 5 seed, who, if it's the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe you don't want to face them as much, maybe you do. So it depends on a lot of things. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I wouldn't. I'd way rather the Knicks fall to the 4th seed. I know it's not cool to kind of root for your team to drop a seed, and it's bad superstition and all that, but at the same time, I don't want to see the Boston Celtics at all for as long as humanly possible. I'd way rather see the Knicks play the Cavs. I think at full strength, the Knicks would still beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Am I biased towards the Knicks? Absolutely, I'm biased towards the Knicks, but at the same time, I just don't see it with the Cavs. I really don't see them going that far, and they could get to the conference, or they probably will get to the conference finals by default of not having to face the Knicks or the Celtics, likely the Celtics until then. But I really don't see it with them. I don't think they're a team that, with their backcourt's defense and their frontcourt's offense, I don't think it's going to work very well in the playoffs. I never have really believed in them to go that far. I don't think they'll be making the finals at all with this core, unless Evan Mobley takes a massive offensive leap. I know he's gotten a lot better on offense, but he would have to take another one for this to really work out for them. All that being said, the Knicks have basically secured their matchup, and that is the Detroit Pistons. It's very likely the Knicks and the Pistons will face off in the first round. And last night when they played, a lot of chippiness was there. You could tell the Pistons really came to fight, and the Knicks, who did play shorthanded while resting some guys, definitely struggled. And PJ Tucker, who played 27 minutes last night, the most he's played in 2 years, spoke out on this and everything that was happening as a veteran who knows the game well and said, they just out-toughed us. They did. The whole fourth quarter, we kept it close, but they just out-toughed us. That's something that we got to address. Obviously, not having OG Anunoby, not having Josh Hart, getting those guys back will help a lot. I just feel like in the trenches like that, in the playoffs this year, they're not calling nothing. They're letting a lot of stuff go right now in regards to fouls, and I like it. The refs are letting a lot of stuff go in both ways. With that happening, guys got to play differently. We got to play different. We got to toughen up. It's more physical. We have to toughen up. So PJ Tucker, not exactly calling the Knicks out. That's not the right word for it, but he's definitely being brutally honest here. Tucker knows the NBA very well. He's been around for a very long time now. He's 39 years old. He's a veteran. He actually looked pretty good also against the Pistons last night, and I think there's an argument that he should be in the playoff rotation over some of the guys, but that's a story for another day. We'll see how PJ continues to play if he continues to get these minutes in the rotation for a little bit, but I do kind of think that there's an argument for it. Now, all that being said, it is going to be a toughness-based series, and the Pistons, they're a tough team. Ever since that bad boy Pistons team and then that recreated version with Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and every other guy named Wallace, no, I'm kidding, but also Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton and Tyshawn Prince, like that team that won an NBA Finals in 2004, they were also built on toughness. They didn't have one specific superstar necessarily. They just were all tough. They were well-rounded, and they were able to beat the Lakers in that Finals. So all this being said, the New York Knicks have to be tough because that's what the Pistons have been built on, and so have the Knicks. And with the Knicks being built on that, you have to show toughness. PJ Tucker did. I mean, when he had some moments, and it was absolutely wonderful to watch Tucker do this. I mean, just standing right over Dennis Schroeder, when Dennis Schroeder knocked down Jalen Brunson at one point, and PJ Tucker did not take kindly to that. Schroeder stood over Jalen Brunson after doing it to kind of show a point here, and then rubs the ground. And then PJ Tucker, who knocks Dennis Schroeder over, goes and stands right over him as well. So PJ Tucker doing that dirty work, he's not afraid to. He never will be afraid to do that dirty work. And because of that, it does show some signs that he's trying to amp his guys up. Tucker's not dumb. He knows he's not really going to get minutes in the playoffs at all outside of garbage time unless something unforeseen happens. So where he stands right now, it is important that he shows what he can and lead by example for those chances that he does get on the court. Now, Jalen Brunson also spoke on this and said, we got to close out the second half better. I mean, long story short, they played really well. They played really physical, and they played for 48 minutes tonight. I don't think we played for full 48 minutes. That's my take on it. So the captain agreeing with PJ Tucker, which is a good sign for him to also say, yeah, they played physical, and we did not play physical enough. And Wally Szczerbiak, MSG analyst for the New York Knicks, mentioned that there are a couple guys on the Knicks that looked like, can we just get to the playoffs? The Pistons did not play that way. They're gaining confidence, and the Knicks gave the Pistons team even more confidence. The Pistons just did whatever they wanted, and Wally's exactly right. In a situation like this, you don't want to give the Pistons open confidence that they can beat you guys. I know you were shorthanded, but stop acting like that. Don't act like you're shorthanded, so it's like, it's whatever. Look, honestly, when the Knicks lost that game, I went, it's whatever. They're going to be fine in the playoffs. But the Knicks do have to remember that playoffs, they can flip things on their head very quickly. Remember, the Bucks were a first seed and lost to an 8 seed Miami Heat because they kind of didn't take them very seriously, and then very quickly they were down, and they struggled. And yes, Giannis missed the game, and that was actually the one game the Bucks won, but you look at it, very quickly you could lose momentum. If you drop a game at home, and the Knicks will start the series off at home, if you drop one of those games, you start to feel that sense of danger. The Knicks have to go out there and show the Pistons, hey, maybe we weren't at full strength, but we didn't take y'all seriously enough, and that's not going to happen again. Come playoffs, you guys are not getting any of that stuff on us. We are coming at you guys full force, and the Knicks are going to have to. That's where things stand right now for this team. So I do think it's important that the Knicks do go out there and do all that. On top of all that, Ron Holland on the Pistons said, we bring that bad boys energy to every single game we play, and if New York is the team we end up playing, we're going to bring it every single night. So the Knicks have to be ready for a serious series against the Detroit Pistons. I mean, you look at the game last night, they played fine at some points. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson played under 30 minutes because Tibbs was resting them. And Towns, you have to like the way he played. It's a very good sign that he was just scoring at will on both Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, not showing any sense of danger. Also attacking the paint very well, only taking 1 3-pointer, which sometimes you could see as a good thing, sometimes you could see as a bad thing, but tonight I think it was a good thing to show that, hey, he will drive on this team, he will body them up, he will score inside. If he gets mismatches, especially if the Knicks want to start Mitchell Robinson at some point in the playoffs, this is a good sign of Karl-Anthony Towns saying, if I work a mismatch, if I get a guy who can't guard me, I'm going to bully him up, and I'm not going to stop. So a great sign from Karl-Anthony Towns there. Jalen Brunson did not have a very good game, but that's fine. Jalen Brunson's allowed to have bad games. On top of that, you saw a guy like Precious Achiuwa play physically, but he's not really going to get a ton of minutes in the playoffs. Mikal played 33 minutes, which is quite low for him. Didn't really play very well, but I'm not too worried about Mikal Bridges. I know more people are worried about him. I'm not that concerned about Mikal Bridges. For the most part, he will be a majorly positive impact player for the Knicks in the playoffs. He knows how to play in the playoffs. He's been to an NBA Finals. PJ Tucker's not really going to play. I mean, Landry Shamet has to be getting minutes over Cameron Payne at this point. Just the way that Shamet played, he was changing the offense for the Knicks, and Cameron Payne wasn't. So you have to go Landry Shamet here. And honestly, I might go DeLon Wright over Cameron Payne at this point also, because DeLon Wright's intangible ability is very, very, very important to this New York Knicks team. So all that being said, this was not the end of the world if the Knicks lost this game, but they should be taking things seriously. I mean, we know that Dennis Schroeder stood over Brunson, and we know that PJ Tucker did the same thing. So Tucker came to fight. He has to bring that energy to the Knicks and make sure they don't forget who they are. On top of that, Jalen Duren played very well against the New York Knicks, which is something to be worried about, given Mitchell Robinson was not there, so we would have to double back on this. But 18 points and 13 rebounds, going 9 for 9 on field goal percentage, leading the league in double-doubles on 100% field goal percentage this season. Something that the Knicks are going to have to be very aware of, and that they're going to have to get ready to use Mitchell Robinson for. Mitch will not let that happen, but it's important that they use Mitchell Robinson in the right way and use him enough to stop this. Now, very quickly, just to go over the two superstars of each team, Jalen Brunson is going to be the best player in the series. The numbers might not always show it, but, and I'll explain that, that'll be explained in a second, but 26 points per game, 3 rebounds, 7.5 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 38% from through with 40% on corner threes. Jalen Brunson is that guy. We know how he is in the playoffs. He had 4 straight 40-plus point games in the playoffs last year. The man goes nuclear in the playoffs. Playoff Brunson is a real thing. On top of that, Cade Cunningham's averaging 26 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, shooting 46% from the field and 35.5% from 3. So Cade's someone you cannot forget about, but he is entering his first playoff appearance, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. All this being said, I'm super excited for the playoffs. I do think the Knicks are going to run through the Pistons. I think a lot of people are thinking the Pistons are going to do better than they will. Once the playoffs begin, I think the Knicks will lock in and things will go very, very nicely. But guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.